Yo, what's happening people? My name is Courtney-Jai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am answering your Qs. So every once a month or so on this channel, I release a video what says Q&A submission. You guys submit your questions and you guys have sent me a hell of a lot. But if you guys want to be involved in the next one, all you have to do is look out for that video. It's followed by a thumbnail with me having really bad bedhead. Yeah, submit your questions and maybe they'll get answered in the next Q&A. First question comes from @GamerDude. They ask, other than yourself, have you ever seen anyone famous? What makes me laugh about this question is they think I'm famous, which I am remotely not even close to. Not even some of my family members know who I am. So as for the world know who I am, just, you know. But have I met anybody famous? I've met a few people, I guess. I met Jedward when I went to like a YouTube convention. They were nice enough. I've met quite a lot of YouTubers. I've hung out with YouTubers. Obviously my friend Victor is famous in Norway. Other than that, no, nobody wants to meet me who's famous because I'm not famous, so that makes sense. Next question comes from Zach Evans and they ask, what anime have you been watching? Well, I've been watching a lot of My Hero Academia. I started watching Beastars. I've been watching Persona. The next question comes from @AdrianDC and they ask, have you and your girlfriend ever considered being in an open relationship? This is an interesting question because I don't know if this is directed at me because I'm bisexual, and I feel like maybe bisexual people are probably presumed or percepted in a way that they would be more inclined to open relationships because of how we're viewed in society. As for me, I wouldn't do this. I am a monogamous person, which means I just like being with one person. I know it may sound selfish, but that's the way. I'm old-fashioned. I like that, and that's what appeals to me. I have nothing against people who want to be in an open relationship. In fact, I can respect that if you can make that work, but I feel like there's something which is imbalanced about those sort of relationships. Like, what if you like someone more than the other? I know people say they can love multiple people, but I don't know. I don't know anybody who's in an open relationship, so I don't really know how the dynamics work. But for me, I just like being with the one person. The next question comes from @Nathan Griffiths, and this is interesting because this is the person who did the graphics for my channel, and he thought it'd be funny to send me a little link. So let's have a little link at this link and see what it says.
You're joking. Not another one?
Wow. So Nathan, I don't know if you have a problem with me doing Q&As or if you just have a problem with me, but we can go toe to toe. Toe to toe? No. Balls. Shit. Yeah, Nathan. Take a bit of that, and a bit of that, and take their two friends as well. So, yeah. Next question comes from @A, and they ask, was it easy to give yourself a label? They also ask a lot more than that, but basically the gist is, did I feel comfortable giving myself a label, and did I feel comfortable making the content that I now make? When I first started this channel, it had nothing to do with LGBTQ+, it was just me kind of making stupid videos. And when I started making the LGBT videos, I seen that people started watching them more. And a lot more people were starting to connect with the channel and understand me as a person. And as I did that, I made a few friends from it. I got a lot of people who watched me and understood it, and I felt like I was actually starting to change people's lives. And that made such a massive difference to the content that I wanted to make because it made me a lot happier. I wasn't just making stupid videos because I wanted to make stupid videos. I was making videos which had context and had meaning and had responsibility, and that means so much to me. If I can just help one person, then it feels like I'm giving somebody that chance that maybe I would have wanted when I was younger. Instead of crying myself to sleep, I could feel like I spoke to someone who understands me and I felt a bit more comfortable in my own skin. So yeah, it was scary when I labelled myself as bisexual, but it was definitely worth it because I wouldn't have people like you asking questions like this if I hadn't, because you guys wouldn't be here, and maybe some of you guys wouldn't even be out right now, and that's something which makes a difference for me every day. Next question comes from @EllieCloset, and they ask, what's your occupation? Does this bring LGBT effect to your work or at school? I'm guessing they're saying, does me being openly out affect my work or my school, or did it when I did? My occupation is that I am a refrigeration engineer, so I work in the construction industry, which means I work with builders, electricians, fellow refrigeration engineers. And the problem with my industry is that it reflects that. And what I mean by this is the construction industry is a lot of guys who consider them to be manly men. They don't really like to express their feelings. They don't like to feel open or vulnerable in any way. So things like the LGBTQ+ are not spoken about very commonly, and if they are, it's usually in a derogatory term. I've had engineers come out to me and say really hurtful and horrible things about the LGBT, and it was mainly when I was an apprentice, so I couldn't really cause any trouble because they were the engineer, I was the apprentice, and when you're in that position you're very vulnerable, because even though I feel like my boss would be very thoughtful towards me, at the time it was a different boss than what I have, because my new boss is actually my stepmom, but my old boss wasn't. If you're going to cause a problem with engineers and they make the money, you don't, you could get fired, because you know there's no way to really prove that. So I had to grit my teeth for a lot of it. I remember there was a few nights I went home crying because I was bullied by a few of the engineers who found out who I was. So yeah, it wasn't a nice time, but I've got to a position now where I'm quite high up in my company. So if I say something, it packs a punch. And I feel like there's a time and a place to say everything, and that's something you have to look out for when you do go into certain industries and you do feel certain ways. It's all good to stand up for yourself, but you've got to make sure you're not a victim for standing up for yourself. The next question comes from @RyanBlack, and they say, could you speak a little louder? I do apologise for speaking so quiet. I just woken up. You'd literally seen me in like a mid-phase of opening my eyes for the first time, and the first thing I thought about was you guys. So maybe instead of me speaking louder, you guys should listen closer. How about that? Ooh, turn up your volumes, get close, get deep. Build mama. I don't know what the hell that was. Anyway, yeah, I just woke up. That's the reason why I was speaking quietly. And the final question comes from @BenA. And they ask, why do bisexual men like women more than men? Would you prefer dating a gay man or another bisexual man if you dated a man? So hypothetically, if I wasn't in a relationship with the person that I'm in and I had a preference to dating somebody, it wouldn't be down to their sexuality, because I feel like that defeats the point of sexuality. You're not dating someone for their sexuality, you're dating someone for the person they are. I would just be dating the person who cared most about me and understood me the most. It wouldn't be because they're bisexual or because they're gay, it's because I'd feel most comfortable around them. There's plenty of people who try and identify by their sexuality and kind of live in the stereotype of their sexuality, and that's okay, but if I didn't feel comfortable around them, I wouldn't be dating them. So it'd be someone who makes me feel the most normal as possible and makes me feel loved. So everybody, I hope you liked this Q&A, and as I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to get involved in another Q&A, you can do, just look for the Q&A submission for the next video. And I am appreciating everybody who's helping out with these videos, watching these new videos, and I hope you guys really appreciate the new format. I know this one isn't as dynamic or as crazy as the other ones. I just wanted to do something nice and simple so we can have a little chat and I can answer some of your questions, but I really do appreciate the support. I'm gonna say love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.